We'll continue our working day at Press Center of Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and now the floor is given to Minister of Defense of Ukraine spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, and he will inform us about military actions in the ATO area. Welcome on stage. Good afternoon, everyone. Now the information about the main events that happened yesterday in the ATO zone. During the last 24 hours in the Lugansk sector, the enemy violated ceasefire 3 times. After 2 a.m., the enemy launched 3 mines in the direction of our positions near Seza village, Stanichna-Lugansk region. And during the day, the enemy opened fire with the use of small arms to the suburbs of Stanitsa-Luganska, and also after sunset, Russian occupation forces violated ceasefire in Novo-Alexandrovka, Pasnyansky region. They delivered short-term grenade launcher shelling of the Ukrainian positions. The Donetsk sector, there the theater of enemy shelling narrowed. The situation was tense in 3 flash spots: Zaitsevo, Avdiivka, and Pisky. There, the militants actively used small arms, including sniper fire, in the region of the Donetsk airport. As previously, enemy shellings are rather long, and in Avdiivka yesterday, military actions lasted with interruptions for more than 8 hours. And the Russian occupation forces opened fire with the use of mortars that are banned by Minsk agreements. And the enemy do not adhere to undertaken obligations and continue to violate ceasefire. And local residents continue to suffer from illegal actions of the occupants. 62-year-old resident of Avdiivka yesterday was wounded in his right shoulder in the course of shelling, and he was hospitalized. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk sector, there were 7 shellings recorded. In the Mariupol sector, the situation is the same as during the 2 previous days. In Krasnogorovka, the enemy shelled our positions with the use of mortars. In the region of Dokuchaevsk, enemy snipers were active, and in the south of Oblast, enemy provocations were carried out during 24 hours. And in Mariupol sector yesterday, 19 enemy shellings were recorded. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but 2 servicemen were wounded. It happened in the region of Avdiivka. Moreover, 2 servicemen were wounded in the result of the explosion of unknown explosive device. Yesterday in the ATO zone, law enforcers found a big number of ammunition. In Selidov, they detained a man who illegally held 5 grenades and 100 cartridges of Kalashnikov gun. The perpetrator said that he found this ammunition 2 years ago in the suburbs of the town. And in auto station of Khurakhova, law enforcers confiscated 5 detonators from a man. He was hiding them in his pocket. He explained that he found these explosive objects and planned to stun fish in the pond. In the forest strip near Slavyansk, near Kiev-Kharkiv-Dozhansky highway, law enforcers found a package with ammunition. There they found RGD-5 grenade and 90 cartridges of 5.45 mm of caliber. Also, grenade F1 and more than 80 cartridges of 5.45 mm of caliber. These were found in the territory of school of Mariupol, while in the course of check of police officers together with administration. Now the ammunition is seized and there is no threat to children's life.
At the same time, another former militant used the program of Security Service of Ukraine, They Wait for You at Home, and he returned to peaceful life. At the beginning of summer 2014, the militants forced Lysychansk resident to join the ranks of illegal military formation and to patrol the city. The man saw with his own eye the disorder and unlawful acts carried out by the mercenaries in his native town, so he dissociated fully from ties with occupants. This became the impetus for his exit from the illegal military formations. Later on, he got to know about the Security Service of Ukraine program, They Are Waiting for You at Home, via internet resources. The man called to the hotline and he voluntarily reported to the law enforcement officers all the circumstances of his activities in the ranks of illegal military formation, so they got released former militant from criminal responsibility. In his statement, the man called on the militants to lay down arms and return to peaceful life. Mirgorod Brigade of Tactical Aviation now learn to control combat aircrafts. They learn elements they need for flying, to take off, to land, they learn cloud flying and using duplicate instruments as well as aerial acrobatics. Every week, day and night, several crews fly, in particular in adverse weather conditions. The training session for snipers of National Guard of Ukraine continue in Kharkov. The reconnaissance unit trainers train the servicemen in topographics, engineering and firing. The humanitarian freights on 12 trucks passed the checkpoint Novotroitsk. This freight is from the International Committee of Red Cross. The trucks brought food, construction materials and hygienic packages for 23 tons. At the same time, technical assistance from the UNHCR were brought to Kramatorsk. We have a question. The holiday will start soon, and as we know, usually before the holidays, the attacks intensify usually. What are our forecasts? Our task is to monitor the situation at the front line and to strengthen our monitoring efforts. Just before the Easter, I can't make any focus, but taking into account the data, the facts, that the number of ceasefire violations have decreased, but we will still monitor the situation. Our next briefing about the situation in the ATO area will be tomorrow at 12:30. Our next briefing today will be at 1 o'clock.